Oh no, there it is. Gosh, it's very late, isn't it? Right, okay, we might have a bit of a delay then, guys, but we'll do our best. So, index laws. So indices we've done before, that's powers, okay? So as you well know, x squared means x times x, and x times x times x we can write as x cubed. Now, there are a couple of laws which are very straightforward if you've learnt them. But before I just announce them to you and just sort of present them as a fact, I just want to, on this one occasion, just sort of show you why it's the case. Okay, so let's say we've got x cubed times x squared and y squared times y to the power of 4. Now, what does the top one mean and what does the bottom one mean? Well, x cubed means x times x times x, and y squared means y times y. Okay, so, but then we're multiplying by x squared and y to the power of 4. Okay, so what we're actually saying with the top one, so x cubed, tell you what, let me just highlight this as I go, I think it'll be easier. So with that top one, we've got x cubed multiplied by x squared. Yes, it's coming through nicer now. So x cubed is x times x times x, and then we're multiplying that by x squared, which is x times x. And x times x times x times x times x is x to the power of 5. Okay, and same with the one at the bottom. Okay, we've got y squared, which means y times y. And we've got y to the power of 4, which means y times y times y times y. And multiplying that all together, we've got y times y times y times y times y. Is that it? I've done this one, yeah. But we've got 6 of them. So we're looking, and it's a pretty obvious link, we're trying to find a shortcut how we can get from that 3 and the 2 powers for the x and work out that the answer is going to be to the power of 5, and also how come when it's the power of 2 and 4, a shortcut way to see how we get the 6. Now, as you can see, you just add the numbers together. Okay, so when you're multiplying numbers with powers, okay, you add the index. So that is our first law. Okay, when you are multiplying, we add the powers. Okay, so y cubed times y squared, x cubed times x squared is x to the power of 5. Y squared times y to the power of 4 is y to the power of 6. Okay, so I'm not going to give you time to write these down, but with these you're simply going to add the powers together. So L squared times L cubed, or 2 and 3 is 5. E to the 3 times e to the 4, which is going to be e to the 7. N to the 7 times n squared, n to the 9, and so on. We're just adding the powers. Okay. Do note though that with all of these, the big number is always the same. Now that's an L, that's an L, and that's an L. Or that's an N, that's an N, and that's the N. If these big numbers were different, then this law doesn't apply. Now, what about when we are dividing? Okay, is there a law we can use here? So when we were multiplying, we were adding the powers. So we're going to have to kind of think of the difference. So what does 3 to the power of 7 mean? It means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And then we're dividing by 3 to the power of 4. So I'm just showing this as a fraction. Okay. Now, so I've got the 7 3's on the top, the 4 3's on the bottom. That's what 3 to the power of 7 divided 3 to the power of 4 means. But then I can cancel some of those out, as you can see. Okay, 3 divided by 3 cancels, 3 divided by 3 cancels, 3 divided by 3, 3 divided by 3, and I'm just left with 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, so I'm just left with 3 times 3 times 3. which popping that as a power is 3 to the power of 3. So again, we're going to say to ourselves, when we are dividing, what is the rule that links the 7, the 4, and the 3? Well, you can just see that we're taking away. 7 take away 4 equals 3. So when we are dividing, we subtract the power. When dividing, we subtract the power. And it's as simple as that, guys. Okay? So, once again, I'm not going to give you a lot to think about these. So notice how the big numbers are consistently the same all the way down. And then for the answers, we're just literally going to subtract the powers because all of these are division. So 3 take away 2 is 1, so that's 5 to the power of 1. But anything to the power of 1, we just say the number. So 5 to the power of 1 is just 5. Okay, for the second one, subtract the powers, so that's 7 to the power of 6, 6 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 4. Now be careful with this one. When it just says 2 there, don't just think the power is 0. It's not, it's 1. No, 2, anything number there on its own, there's one of them, isn't it? So it's just to the power of 1. So for number 5, in your head, just think of that as being 2 to the 8 divided by 2 to the power of 1. Then it's 8 take away 1 equals 7. So 2 to the power of 7. And then don't be psyched out. Don't just because you're going into minuses, don't think you've got to change the rule. You still just take away. 3 take away 5 is minus 2. It's not plus 2. All right? Now, the final thing, I just want to introduce you to 0 power. Now, if you've got anything to the power of 0, any of these, no matter what the number is, anything to the power of 0, then I just want you to learn, okay, learn that the answer equals 1. Not 3 and not 0. It's always anything to the power of 0 equals 1. Now just learn that, please. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. I'm just going to try and show you why it is. And some of you might get this, some of you may not. Okay, so let's go and say we were doing 6 divided by 6. We know that is 1. 6 people dividing six pizzas divided by 6 people is 1 each. Okay. Now I was saying to you earlier on that you can think of whenever there isn't a power there, you can think of it as being to the power of 1. So it's 6 to the 1 divided by 6 to the 1. Now what did we just say on the previous page? We were saying whenever you divide, you subtract the powers. So let's subtract the powers here. So we're going to do 1 take away 1, which is going to give us 0. That's going to give us 0. So I'm saying that 6 to the power of 1 divided by 6 to the power of 1 is 6 to the power of 0. Now both of those left-hand sides are the same thing. They're both 6 divided by 6. So both of those things on the right are equal to each other. So those are equal to each other. So there you go. That's why 6 to the power of 0 equals 0. So anything to the power of 0. So if you get anything to the power of 0 cropping up on the worksheet, please just write down that the answer is 1. Now I expect you'll be able to rattle through these. Okay, if you do, work on something you haven't completed. All right, so I'm just going to go and stop the recording. Stop the recording. Okay,